Billy Parker, a millionaire with an air of arrogance and entitlement, took a shortcut through a quiet part of town. His life was built around money and power, flaunting his wealth through his imported car, tailored suits, and the way people seemed to bend to his whims. As he navigated narrow streets, Billy noticed a crowd gathered on a sidewalk. Curiosity piqued. He pulled over and approached the scene, where a black man sat beside a collection of striking paintings. The artist's calm presence and dignified demeanor seemed at odds with his worn clothing and simple setup. "Nice paintings you've got here," Billy said, his tone dripping with condescension. "I'm looking for some artwork for my office. Tell you what, I can help you find clients and even let you work under me." He waited for the gratitude he expected, but the artist, Stewart, smiled gently. "Thank you for the offer, sir," Stewart replied with quiet respect. "But I have responsibilities here and do well enough on my own." Billy blinked, surprised at the rejection. "Do you have any idea who I am?" he sneered. "You should be grateful I'm giving you a chance to be something more than this." He gestured dismissively, but Stewart's calm never wavered. "I appreciate your interest," he said, "but I'm happy here. I earn enough to do what I need." Billy scoffed. "Earn enough? Look around. You're selling art on the sidewalk. People like you don't get far without people like me." At that moment, a woman approached, a professional in her mid-30s with a kind expression. She turned to Stewart. "Sir, I just wanted to let you know that everything's arranged at the shelter, as you requested." "Thank you, Mayuri," Stewart said warmly. "I'll send the remaining funds tonight." Mayuri gave a respectful nod before leaving. Billy watched, confused. Why did she call Stewart, sir? Why the respect? He hurried after her. "Do you know that man, Stewart?" he asked. Mayuri regarded him with mild disapproval. "Yes, I know him well. He's one of the most generous people I've met." "Him? Generous? He's selling paintings on the street," Billy said, incredulous. "You see him on the sidewalk, and that's all you notice," she replied. "Stewart is wealthy, not only in money but in kindness. People pay top dollar for his work, but he lives simply and gives most of his earnings away." She went on to explain how Stewart lost his family young and poured his heart into his art. Rather than seeking wealth, he used his success to support a shelter he built, taking care of children in need. Billy's confidence faltered. Stewart, the man he just belittled, was not only wealthy, but selflessly dedicated to others. The weight of his ignorance hit him. Returning to Stewart, Billy's arrogance had faded. "I didn't know about the shelter," he admitted, his tone softened. "I assumed you were just selling art to get by." Stewart met his gaze, his face calm. "Most people do. It's easy to see only the surface," he said with a small smile. "But everyone has a story." Billy looked down, understanding the weight of Stewart's words. Stewart, by choice, had turned his life into one of quiet service and humility, finding meaning in helping others. "You could live comfortably," Billy said, struggling to understand. "Why choose this?" Stewart answered calmly, sharing his past and the values his parents instilled in him. "They taught me that wealth isn't what you have. It's what you give. I want my life to mean something." Billy was silent, realizing how narrow his definition of wealth had been. Stewart's success wasn't measured by material gain, but by purpose and compassion. For the first time, Billy felt admiration. "Those children," he asked, "you really support all of them?" "They're my family now," Stewart replied softly. "I'd rather spend my days ensuring they're safe and loved than chasing empty goals." As Billy absorbed this, his perspective shifted. For years, he'd seen life as a competition. But Stewart showed him that life could be about connection and purpose. A few days later, Billy returned to volunteer at Stewart's shelter. The children welcomed him with warmth, and for the first time, Billy felt fulfillment that wasn't tied to wealth or status. Over time, he became a regular, learning each child's name and story, guided by Stewart's patience and love. On a December morning, Billy confessed to Stewart, "I never thought I'd be here. I used to think wealth was all that mattered. Now I see things differently." Stewart placed a hand on his shoulder. "We all have the capacity for change. Sometimes it just takes a push." And so, Billy's life transformed. The world still saw him as wealthy, but now he felt richer in a way that mattered. He dedicated himself to supporting those in need, not for recognition, but from a desire to make a difference, a lesson he learned from a humble artist. Through Stuart's guidance, Billy discovered true wealth was found in compassion and understanding, in seeing the world through another's eyes.